Hi guys, you join me here on the set of Hughes Operation Services. They produce emergency showers for construction sites, etc. Some of which get deployed out into the desert or standalone units. The one behind me here is a unit that's meant for installation into a construction site, and we've just been taking photos of it in use. It's got a shower hosel just up there and a little eye bath there, and I'll go around and you can be able to see what's going on. So behind me I've got a softbox there and a large octobank just there, and I've got Dan as assisting, and he's using a little Electron Ranger just to get behind the water so we can really show the water coming out and dropping onto it. So stay tuned, I will show you what's going on over there. Feels good. Okay, welcome back guys. This is set up at the Hughes safety showers, and we have the Rotalux, as I mentioned before, which is just a big soft box. We've been maneuvering them around because this object here, this shower, is very, very shiny, and we're having problems initially getting the light to hit it without causing a massive flare. So we managed to maneuver it round so that it looked very nice, and we were using some big V flats just to hide some of the background. So this just gives you an idea of the size of it. It holds I think 120 litres of water, which can be quite warm and quite cold, we've been told, so having used it. So catch up with us soon, and you'll see some more action whilst we get going. All right. Hi guys, welcome back. We're looking at some of the work that I've shot for Hughes Safety and their showers. In the BTS clips you've just seen, I've walked you round the showers themselves. And we're just going to jump behind the scenes on the editing if you're agreeable to that, if you want to see that. Otherwise, click off somewhere and enjoy yourself on YouTube. But otherwise, we're just jumping into Lightroom right now, and we're going to have a look at the set of images that I shot and some of the images from it. So we'll jump around a little bit, but hopefully you'll get something out of it. So looking at the sort of start of the shoot, you can see that I've shot 840 images from there. If I go to the ones that I've already rated, that reduces that number down to 253. Of those, you'll notice that there's a few samey ones. So, they're presented to the client, but they will have to choose which ones out of those that series of images that they want to go on and either edit or use. So use as is. But you can see from the image I've chosen that this has a few problems. It's well lit, but the the roof space is all it's open. And so you would have to make a bit of effort just to remove that roof space. And this was kind of just a build-up photo, to be honest. Let's start from the start, and you'll get an appreciation for what goes on and where we start. This was the very first frame from this particular shoot. You can see I've got my assistant Dan in there, who's a top photographer on his own, to be honest. So. And he's in there. We've just set up a couple of lights, and we're just moving them around just to find out what the surface is going to do, what the environment is going to present us with, and then we can start moving the lights around to try and eliminate some of that. You can see right off the bat, and I explained in the video, the behind the scenes video, that we've got this hot spot here flaring straight off of this light, and we are trying to eliminate that.
It's a very shiny plastic surface, and they are always very, very tricky to eliminate completely. The only thing that's harder than that to photograph or to light properly is perhaps stainless steel or brushed steel. That flares up like you wouldn't believe. But you can see as I progress through these shots, we move the lights around. You can see the ambient light is quite dark behind, so this is all flash based at the moment, and that's a good start really to see what the lights are doing, because I don't really want the interference of the color temperature change between the overhead lights and the internal lighting. So this, we're getting a nice clean daylight balance off of the flash lights. But initially I start like this so we can see what the product's doing, how the light's reacting. We move on to introducing a second light, and then seeing how we can maneuver those in order to minimize the amount of flare on it. You can see from that one to that one, we've maybe moved the lights around a more oblique angle so that the surface isn't seeing the light quite so much, and that's kind of what we're seeing. This front edge here is curved, so you'll see that it bows a little bit, and that makes it really, really difficult to lose the flash off of that and the bounce, because it's seeing a lot of surface. If we move on from that, you can see I've got Dan in there. I'm seeing how much shadow is being cast by him onto the surface, seeing whether or not that eliminates this flare. And I've moved the light around from the left-hand side all the way around to the front of the shower, and we can see that that's actually improving it. I'm reducing the power of it now because it's a lot closer. We used a nice big soft box in order to be able to distribute, to sort of approximate a huge light source. I mean, we're never going to get a massive light source, but you can see straight away that it's lessened by manoeuvring it around to the side. We are losing, the flare on the front of it, which is always good news. The flare on the front is increased if you use a smaller point source. So you'll find that it's much harder and much hotter to use smaller source flashes. That's why I put them in large soft boxes to try and even out the light and diffuse the light. So we're getting pretty close here. You can see, that we have reduced quite a lot of the light. We're getting a nice shape around the front of the shower. I would need, to introduce another light at the back here somewhere behind this guy's head, which is what we did. And you can see we're jumping around. The flash didn't fire on that occasion. And we're getting pretty close now because Dan's stood off to the left-hand side. You can see the difference between with and without flash there, and we're getting pretty close. And I dialed the flash down. Once you get it close, and I know I can work with it, I then start introducing our models into it, and we go from there. So that's just to give you an approximation as to what we did. We got hold of some big V flats just to sort of black out some of this background away from it, and to also sort of highlight the water that's going to be coming out of this nozzle there, this jets. If I jump around a little bit, if I have a look at the rated ones, you'll see them easier. We introduced the V flats. If I show you that one first, you can see there's an awful lot of clutter in the background because this is a test bay that we're in here. We wanted to make it not look like a test bay. You can see all the drains that the water has to run into. If we just do that in somebody's office, so that's not going to be very good, or indeed out on a construction site. So we are using one of their test bays. but we are trying to minimize the look of the test bay by bringing in these V-flats. And long term, the intention was to retouch this out of it, and you can see we've had some fun deploying the water there. The black V-flat really helps to make the water stand out. So it's really it's a twofold thing. A, it eliminates the background that we're photographing in, and B, it helps to highlight the water that's coming out. If I jump out of there and just jump into Photoshop, you can see some of the shots that we've been doing, and so here's the one with the background still in, and in order to remove it, we've just done some retouching on that. Similarly, if I can move that for a second, similarly, you can see an awful lot of roof space there. The tricky bit really is eliminating the roof space here, but holding on to the water spray. And Dan's behind there with another light, just backlighting the water so that it really pings out. Otherwise, it will just go grey along with the background, because it just takes the colour of the background, or the water will. So hence the reason for trying to drop some black in and it really showing up. So I just wanted to show you a little bit of the process that we go through here behind the scenes in terms of the edit afterwards. And hopefully a little bit later on I'll be able to share with you some of the ways that the client has used the images. They are super thrilled and they are really happy. Check the blog because there's going to be some a sort of case summary of this one, so check that out. There might be some additional information that I haven't covered here, but otherwise, thanks very much for watching, and I hope that's been helpful. So stay tuned and give us a little like or a subscribe. All right, cheers, thanks a lot, bye.